So I just want to say that this video is going to be on Lindsay Clancy, and you're probably not going to like what I have to say, and that's okay. But if you leave any kind of hateful comments, you will be blocked expeditiously, because I don't give a fuck what your opinion is. Now, before I break into these cards, I want you guys to think about something so you can understand where I'm coming from. I want you to think about Chris Watts. If you don't know who Chris Watts is, it's this guy, and he unalived his wife, who was pregnant at the time, and his two daughters, and he pretended that they went missing. Chris Watts had already decided he had checked out of the marriage but hadn't told anybody and was seeing someone on the side. He decided he no longer wanted to be married, but he also didn't want the baggage of kids, so he could start a brand new life. He wanted a brand new life with someone else by himself without any of that. And I want you to imagine that if the situation was different and that his wife at the time, Shannon, had postpartum depression. And I want you to think if she had postpartum depression so bad she wasn't out with friends, she had already been isolated, she had been telling him she was thinking about hurting the kids, that she was on the verge of hurting herself or herself and the kid, that he was in control of medicines, that he was in control of money, that she didn't have anything going for her. And if you think that Chris Watts is the type of person who would have used that to his advantage had Shannon been in mental health postpartum depression turmoil, the same as Lindsay was, do you think he would have manipulated the medications, pushed her to the edge to do it, so he could live his new life? I want you to think about that in context for a second. The one thing you should understand about Mr. Clancy is he likes to be in control, and he is very much in control, manipulatively in control, and abusive. It shows me that he's abusive, and he has a dark side, a very dark side. And when I say abusive, let's not automatically run to being beat on and being physically abused or essayed or anything like that. Sometimes narcissistic abuse and other forms of abuse are much darker because they don't include that. And it does tell me he very much financially withheld a lot. He very much controlled the finances. He made sure that he pushed this woman until she was physically, mentally, financially just done, burnt out, done. And she reached out for help. She was at a crossroads. She reached out for help, and he kept abandoning her. He kept leaving. He kept abandoning her. He was doing this on purpose. He was trying to burn the bridges. He was trying to make this crumble. And she couldn't see it. She was so lost in that mind. She was so done, and it was beyond her control, and he knew this. And he steered the boat. He steered the boat. This is not someone that was ride or die for his wife. This is not someone who stood by her side. This is not someone who wanted to prevent these things. This motherfucker left while he isolated her and stayed in full control of the narrative. Meaning he was going around saying one thing. She was going around asking for help. He's playing it off. And the whole time, while he's out of town, going on these trips, doing these odd things where he's away from the house, entertaining women. Entertaining women. There was not violence. It was all underhanded. Think of underhanded comments like coming in the house from work, your wife with postpartum depression is basically losing it, the kids are screaming, the baby's losing it, and you come in and say, wow, you've been home all day and you couldn't even wash a dish. That's great. That type of behavior is abuse, and that's exactly who that man is. He drained every cup. He orchestrated it to happen, knowing what was coming, hoping that she would do herself, while he was gone, while he was on one of these trips. He pushed. It even says manipulated medications that were administered, adding something to a cup, throwing something off, keeping someone lost, keeping them lost. He didn't do anything to get her better. And when she did start to click, when she did start to have moments of improvement where she felt like she was climbing out, he manipulated it and he would drain her even more. And he made everyone believe she's the enemy and he's the victim, the man who lost his children at the hands of his wife. And then miraculously, so very quickly, in months, remarried and with a baby. So do you want to know my personal opinion? My personal opinion on the case. Just an opinion, not a fact. I believe he's the one who loaded the gun. I believe he's the one who manipulated through abuse, verbal, mental, neglect, to push her to be the one to pull the trigger. I believe he manipulated medicines. I believe he looked things up. I believe he did things to make her feel like she was even crazier than she was already feeling. And I think he did it so under the radar that no one else was catching on. and that it was her normal life until she cracked, until she broke. And when that brain cracks, you black out. You're not yourself. The brain and the soul are no longer in control. And I believe that he is the one to blame here for all of it. And I find it very funny, ironic, that his new wife looks just about goddamn identical as Mrs. Clancy. Well, the ex-Mrs. Clancy. And I think it's real funny how she's super quiet, that she endures similar behaviors by this man. But most abusers like this know how to pick them, and they go after a certain type. So I would not be surprised if in years to come, something else comes out about this man. Now I'm sure you're going to come and you're going to say, yo, Tammy, she murdered her babies. You don't believe she doesn't belong in prison the rest of her life? No. No, I don't. I believe she deserves the mental help she's been screaming for before it happened. I believe that if she's going to get a life sentence, it should be in a hospital where she can get the help that she needs and not be tortured into oblivion and become worse than she is. I believe in having some humanity in the situation of a human being that was cracked by another human being, and to the point they did some shit they never would do had they had the help that they were fucking begging for. We love to paint mental health as a thing we need to feel sorry for and get a handle on and help others and how important it is. And then we have the administration coming in going, that's a load of shit. And then we have cases like this that show you why it's so fucking important. But then when it happens and it's a mental health break, the next thing is, well, she committed the act, so she deserves to die. But what none of y'all motherfuckers saying that shit when that cop unallowed that little boy in the Walmart parking lot. Y'all ain't saying he deserves to die. Where's his life sentence? Same shit to y'all, right? Yeah, that's what the fuck I thought. Regardless, that's how I feel. You take the life, then you deserve to die. Well, in that case, patient 4547 deserves to die because he's got lots of blood on his hands. And so do a lot of the people in the administration as well. Anyways, that's all I got to say about that.